is Phoenix, round 4 of the regular season. We got the Cup and Xfinity to recap this week, as well as ARCA. Our man KB did the double in Cup and Xfinity. ARCA was Friday night, and fun weekend in the desert. Me and Gavin are here to recap. What's up, Gavin?
What's up, everyone?
What do you think of this whole weekend recap?
All right, so we're going to kind of just get right on into it then. Kyle ran his second race with colleague on Saturday in the Xfinity Series. Second week in a row driving more than just the Cup car, so still trying to get the number 10 car dialed in. Still, everything's still fresh, with it being only 4 or 5 weeks into the season. Randall and Kyle and the whole crew on the 8 side, they're working hard to still get to know each other and how they can do things accordingly. Kyle spent, the past decade and more years than a decade over on the JGR side, and he's so used to how they do stuff over there. And I'm sure Randall and the guys on the Cup side on the 8 team, they do stuff different, but they're all trying to adapt with the way Kyle does things, and they're trying to change everything up. So the start of the season, in a way, has kind of been a struggle. I mean, we've had results to show, car was really good at speed weeks at Daytona. Fontana, we won. That was a really good race. And, the last 2 weeks, it just seemed to be like kind of a miss, if you will. Going to different tracks, finally hitting the 1.5 miles and miles and stuff like that. It hasn't really seemed to be fully there yet. So hopefully everybody's real busy at the shop, putting in that hard work, trying to figure out what we need to do to get the car to where we need it to be. And but I've been really impressed with the season so far, though. I mean, Kyle's been really good this year so far. We just got to try to figure out Cup car better and the Xfinity car. We can't really seem to unload right in the Xfinity side, but we'll get on into that in a few minutes. But I mean, overall, I mean, it was an up and down weekend for sure. I mean, I feel like that's the way it was the previous week too in Vegas. But we're going to Atlanta next weekend, which is another crapshoot. So that should be. I mean, it should be interesting just considering how good our package was at Daytona. So we're going to go ahead and start with Saturday in the Xfinity Series. Kyle got onto the track for his practice lap in the 20-minute practice session, and immediately came back down pit road saying the fuel pressure was pegged. And then right after that, I immediately knew that it was going to be a start in the rear, because that wouldn't have been something they would have been able to fix like before qualifying. Now that they combine practice and qualifying together, I'm not really a big fan of that either. But so yeah, he started in the back Saturday, and KFB doing KFB things comes to the front, and he's up there. But once again, kind of 2 weeks in a row where he'd find the lead for like a lap or two and then just couldn't really, keep the lead, but was a top 2, top 3 car the whole day. And it was overall, though, a good day. I wouldn't say just because it wasn't a win that it wasn't a good day. Ran top 3, top 5 majority of the race, and then very unfortunate that him and Chandler got together there at the end. I don't think, I mean, obviously none of that was intentional. Both of them were just racing hard. You got a guy out there racing just to win, and you got a guy racing for points. So I definitely see both sides of that. I'm sure they talked at the end and everything's fine. There was never really an issue there. 2 guys just driving their asses off at the end. And then finished where? Oh, like 9th or 9th. Yeah. So, I mean, Kyle was literally 3rd on the last lap, and then it threw me for a loop because Fox didn't even show what happened until after the race was over. I just saw where he had crossed the line 9th, and he was literally 3rd like 20 seconds before that. So, I'm going to go ahead and let Nick talk for a few minutes now, because I feel like I've been rambling for a minute. So
maybe it's all that Rowdy. No,
Yeah, that Rowdy's got me going, man. I got to be up for work at 6:30 in the morning, so I don't know
Uh-oh.
how the hell I'm going to go to sleep.
I don't want to do the time. It's like 10 p.m. over there, 10:30. But no. So yeah, we got to Xfinity this week. I definitely thought it was going to be a better race than Vegas, just because we got kind of stuck there once we were in a backup car, so we didn't have everything. This week it was the same thing, so that sucked. But it is what it is. And I did think during the race on Saturday that we had something better than we did last week. I thought we could get up to the front, and we were hanging up there. I thought tire saving would help, but we kind of lost ground, which wasn't what I expected. He's still learning in college. They're not the best everywhere. I mean, I don't think they've ever won a Phoenix race, and they're still making big gains with Chandler as well, their rookie. So it was a tough race on Saturday. I think it was good practice for him. He always gets better on Sunday when he's in the Saturday races. That contact with Chandler, I think he got upset on the last run that Chandler was on his quarter panel every corner on the very beginning of the restart while he was trying to make a pass on first. I think it was who was leading? Is it Sammy?
Uh, yeah, Sammy.
Yeah. He was trying to make a move on him and Chandler kept like side drafting his quarter panel so he wouldn't get to Sammy and he just drove away. So that was kind of it. I could see why he was upset, but at the same time Chandler's racing for his own self. They're on the same team. They know each other. They've been on the same team for a while. I think
And
it was just
Chandler
hard
Smith.
racing, and he wanted to teach Chandler to be more patient. Maybe that was his way.
Yeah, Chandler Smith wouldn't be where he's at now if it wasn't for the guy he was racing against. So, um, as everybody knows, that Chandler came from the KBM truck side last year, and obviously now both uh, meeting up again on the Xfinity side, which I think is pretty cool that Kyle gets to work with him when he uh, does his 5 races or is doing his 5 races this year. Matter of fact, the next time, because I've been getting questions on it time to time too, but for all of our viewers watching, Charlotte in May will be Kyle's next Xfinity race, so we still have a couple
Couple
months ahead
months.
of us before he's in that car again. Um, but it kind of stings knowing that he wasn't able to win one before. But it is what it is. I mean, he's not
Yeah.
points racing. He's doing it to go out there and learn, help the program, and always for fun. So
One of them's Darlington. Is the last one Watkins Glen?
I believe the last one is Darlington because he's doing the September
Darlington's the last one, but what's the fourth?
Watkins Glen, and that's before Darlington.
I think he has a good chance there. He's always really fast at the road courses.
Yeah,
He attacks that bus stop like no other. I commented like 5, 6 years ago, and he even mentioned me back after that. Um, the last time I saw him race Watkins Glen, he had a parts failure right after he got to the lead, I believe,
yeah, it was
after
in
driving from the rear.
the I-29
2019.
car. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he did a pretty good job to save it off the wall. You all go look at a clip from time back. But we're gonna go on to Sunday. Sammy Smith got his first win in Xfinity. Gavin went to go get milk at the store. He'll be back. Um, so we got on the Cup. Cup was pretty chaotic. The second half of the race, we got some restarts underway. The first half was pretty calm. Hendrick did their thing up front. Byron and Larson were up front for a majority. Harvick was making ground up. He could never
Check,
really
check.
catch them. Gavin's back from the store. Can you
You
hear
got
me?
me.
I got you. I don't have your camera.
Having some problems here. Like I cannot see myself move. Bear with us here for a second.
Folks.
Yeah, we're having this thing just took a shit on me. So give me a second here.
Now I see.
Movement.
Yeah,
All right, there we go. I'm sorry about that, Nick.
it's all right. We're all good.
But
Check.
all right, so go ahead and say what you were saying. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, no worries. So we're starting to recap Sunday's Cup race. We got first couple stages pretty smooth and simple. Hendrick was up front. Harvick was trying to catch them. KB actually sped at one of the pit stops. I think he does it for a challenge. That's what his team said on the radio. But he drove his way back up to the mid pack, got up to like 13th. That's where he could really stay in the final stage, even with fresh tires. He's kind of mired back there, and that package was spaced out. I don't know if it's Phoenix being high speed and flat, but passing is tough there. So yeah,
What I don't understand for the longest time is why the hell there was wiper blades and mud flaps on these cars this weekend. I mean, there was absolutely unnecessary. It just looked stupid, and I don't know if that had any. I mean, I doubt it had anything to do with the car's performance, but like, I don't know. Like,
they took him off
I
for Cup, right?
no, well, race, but they were on there for the practice and qualifying.
I
But I
saw
have to
one
give
team
like
have it.
I've got to get like a super nay, like really bad super nay to the package they're in this week because I did not like it. And I'm not just saying that because of Kyle's day. I'm saying it like overall. I wasn't really a fan of the racing on Sunday. And there was really no racing. It was literally just like one guy get away, and the rest was like a freight train all the way around the track. I mean, there was really no side by side unless it was on a restart where they all fan out anyway for a couple minutes. But other than that, once they get in line, they're in line. There's no passing, and I don't like that,
Judge
because
it though. Is it better than the championship race last year? I think it's just Phoenix at that point, though.
yeah, I think it's just Phoenix at that point because last year was real similar. I mean, the only time you saw guys getting around guys was on the restarts. And,
Yeah.
uh,
But yeah,
um,
so we got some late restarts. Harvick actually passed and pulled away from the two Hendricks. Larson was in second, I believe. Byron was in third. They were trying to catch him. They couldn't. There was a caution with about 10 laps to go, while Kyle Busch was running 13th, which was good for us. Get as many as you can. It's KFB.
yep.
But yeah, the pit stops came out. Harvick went for 4 when the Hendricks teams went for 2. They both came out with the lead. Harvick was mired back behind Kyle, who took 2 tires. He passed Kyle in the first restart, and they had another caution that was pretty deflating. But at that point, I knew he wasn't going to win. I didn't think he would with Hendrick ahead. But, at some point, top 5, you never know what could happen. So we got to the final restarts. Byron and Larson actually battled for a couple and were side by side on the last 2 laps. Reddick gave Byron a big push. Byron pulled away, and that was that. KB got a top 10. Harvick got screwed out of a race, which I hate to see. But Hendrick just got bent over and hit with the whip. So do as that what you will.
Yeah, so yeah, I feel the same way about the Harvick situation. Like, yeah, that was a real bummer, but at the end of the day, too, I mean, like that's part of racing, man. You never know when a caution's going to come out. It can come out at any time, and I don't know why Harrison Burton's a Cup driver, but he is.
Hey, we're
Can't
lucky.
can't control his car with how many laps to go was there? Like when that caution came out, we were
Like
like under
10.
10 laps.
10 to
Yeah,
go.
we were like right under 10 to go, and
It was exactly 10 to go.
it like shocked me too because
I'm just
Clinton
happy it
Boyer
wasn't Almirola this week.
gets on my absolute last nerve in the booth, because he was literally begging for a caution. Like he thought the race was like so bad that we need a
So,
caution. We need a caution. I mean, yeah, spice things up at the end, like on the pit stops and all, but like you don't really want to see a guy get screwed out of a win like that because that's what's guaranteed to happen, especially with these cars now. I mean, and then you got the Golden Horseshoe guys that are up there, so it's just
I will touch on commentary. Danica Patrick improved a ton this week. I thought she was more enthusiastic and more involved. You have any take on
oh
that?
yeah, because she didn't mention IndyCar once. I'm like, wow,
Or her
you know,
I think she just was braver and was talking. She led them more than they led her.
right.
So that's what you got to do sometimes with Boyer. But I'm not going to get into that. So Byron won the race. They got hit with some penalties. That was actually 100 points for each team number, each driver except for Chase because he's out. So yippee for him. They can't dock him because they got to make sure he makes the top 30 for that rule. But
Yeah. So on that,
he wasn't here. He wasn't at the Phoenix race, so they can't. I mean, I'm not just saying. I'm not. That's not my belief. He wasn't at Phoenix. It wasn't his thing. So
I
Cup
think
race. Cup.
I think the penalty was way too harsh on the Cup guys, just because like, losing the crew chiefs for 4 races and all, I think that's just kind of harsh, and I personally don't think, and I'm not saying I know it all because I definitely don't. I could learn something new about this car every day, but
Yeah.
I don't think what they confiscated would have played any much of a bigger role anyway.
I mean,
But
they took him off before qualifying,
they
and
took
they
them off
still
before
did what they
qualifying.
did in the race.
Yeah, so and then, you have Denny being, penalized for what he said on his podcast, which I will
I knew that was going to happen.
I knew it was too, but I mean, it's just he's just an idiot. I've
I
never
get.
I've never
I've
I've never really
never.
liked Denny since day one because of that. He's such a two-faced guy. I mean, he literally I'm not backing Ross 100% either just because of the way he drove last year, but like so far this year, even though we're only a couple weeks in, he's proven that he can be better around guys. He can, not lose his cool or wreck guys or do any of that. But for Denny literally pulled a Ross last year on Sunday. Just driving straight through him for no reason, all because he was going to finish outside of the top 10. Like it's not Ross's fault. You suck, you know. And then he goes on his podcast and dogs
You know
Ross,
what I
and that
don't understand?
it was all on.
How he comes to that judgment in the middle of the corner. As long as I've been racing, iRacing, which is what it is,
I
I do
have
not.
yet
I do not come to the realization that I'm going to lose 10 spots and dog the guy on my outside.
to hear Hamlin's spotter or crew chief on that
He
last.
gave up he gave up those 15 spots because he thought he was going to lose them. That's not racing to me.
I think it was all just an
I
excuse.
always I like Denny, and I think he's brave with what he says and how he is, and I respect him for that. He's not like everyone else in the garage. He has a personality, but
He's just such a douchebag on the
that was a
racetrack,
little
though.
uncalled for.
Yeah, he's such a dick on the racetrack. I mean, I have yet to hear the 11 spotter or crew chief
He's in
on
his
that lap.
Ross is in his head. That's fact.
Yeah, for no reason because they literally nothing has happened this year for him to do that.
Hey, no,
So
he got a 25-point penalty, and he lost 20 spots on Sunday, so
I wish they would have just
he
banned him from the
doubled it.
playoffs. I wish they would have just banned him from the playoffs because that's how he literally proved the kind of driver he is. So and I think it's ongoing. Like I don't know if you heard. I heard somewhere, I think it was like through Sirius XM or whatever, like they had interviewed Justin Marks on it, and he pretty much just said like, Denny, clearly proved his point, and like we know where he stands with it, but like he literally thinks that it's going to be an ongoing issue again this year, and I do too. I think every time they're around each other, it's just going to be running into each other. It's going to be just like last year.
Bro's
But
fired
I
up
think
now. You're fired up now that we're not Team Toyota.
said on, and this adds on to me not backing up Ross whatsoever because I'm not, but I think that they both can't move on. They both just can't move on. Every time they're around each other, they're gonna run each other over. It's just a matter of who gets to who first. That's how it's gonna be, I think. Take that shit to the Xfinity series.
I mean, there's been rivalries as long as we've known them. I guess
I
NASCAR will
just
do
hate
something about it.
literally
You
hate that
hate
it
being caught
comes
up in it.
that, but I honestly hate that it literally has to happen every week. Like, okay, a guy's proved his point, the other guy's proved his point back. Now, can we just race for a while instead of just beating each other up every week? That's just way too
Yeah.
unnecessary. And for it being cup level, you're supposed
The teams won't live with that if they keep doing it. Sponsors won't.
that's some Noah Gregson shit right there. Wreck the whole field at Road America all because you're trying to
If
pay back one guy.
FedEx is on the leave of NASCAR, then Denny's got to race the way he should for sponsors. So yeah, that was a rough recap of Phoenix. KB got a top 10. Byron won the race. Apparently, he gets to keep his win, even though the points are gone. I don't know how that works. Who finished second? Larson. It wouldn't have really mattered. Was it Larson or Reddick?
Did Larson get? I think Larson did get second. I think.
Next week, we're going to head to Atlanta. We have all three series competing: Truck, Xfinity, and Cup. KB's only in the Cup race. He's racing the Lenovo number 8 Camaro. First race, we'll see the black and red. Goes good with that RCR hoodie. We've seen him in the first couple weeks. I'm hoping for some good things. RCR had some really promising drafting at Daytona. I think. What are you looking forward to the most about this weekend?
I'm gonna have to think about this one. No,
Xfinity. Bandoleros.
Yeah, Bandoleros. Yeah. No. I do want to kind of.
I'm not gonna lie. Sorry. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to Saudi Arabia and F1 more. Just because of Kyle at drafting.
I kind of do want to touch base though on this, this new pit road rule they made for Atlanta, which I think is just stupid.
Oh,
so
I saw that.
Do you have to have your car like woed all the way down before, like, as you're going into?
You have to have it on the apron. It's like IndyCar, Texas.
So you can actually still be like flying up until you get up until like.
If you wash up the track, I think it's a penalty if you go over the apron. You know what I'm saying?
But there's no speed limit until you get to that cone, right?
Not until you get to pit road. Yeah.
Okay, so there's the clarification on that, because at first I'm thinking you have to be.
I think
that would suck, dude. That would suck if you have to be down to 50, like right there. That's dangerous, dude. That's just asinine.
I gotta look that up. That's a good question.
But I think what I do predict is that
there's IndyCar is a speed limit, but I don't know if NASCAR would, because they don't have a pit limiter.
But I do predict that Kyle gets a speeding penalty for the 5th week in a row, which will be interesting too. So,
love to see it.
Can't really stop the speeding
every week so far.
Yeah. Not
Montana, Vegas.
The only race he has not sped on pit road is the Duel.
The Clash.
In the Clash, which there really wasn't a pit road.
No, there was no pit stops.
No pit stops at the Clash, but all the points.
No pit stops at the Clash. He still sped.
Every pit stop this year, not every pit stop, but every points race this year, he has sped on pit road at least one time. Yes, that's a fact.
They got to get their crap together.
Yeah, I agree.
They're also Kyle's still touching up on what he likes in the spotter stands. I can see during the race he was like telling him how to avoid wrecks, what he likes to hear. And I will note that on NASCAR.com, you go to Kyle's onboard and they were playing Hirschman's radio, so that was kind of funny.
Were they really?
Yeah. Somebody posted saying, "Why is Hirschman back with Kyle?" No, that was just Ty on the other side, who almost had us beat for a while that race.
I like Derek though; he's pretty cool. I mean, I'm just hoping that they're going to be able to quick, get the kinks out, in the amount of time we have up until the playoffs start. Which, I mean, I don't even know why I'm mentioning.
I'm interested to see the road courses, because that was a rough point for KB. Toyotas were kind of, I don't know. No, Reddick won 2 road courses last year. RCR's got good stuff. I think Kyle just needs to be calm and play each stage. Do the pit. They're not going to have cautions. I'm excited for Coda, dude.
I'm hoping we don't have to, use all 25 weeks to get the kinks out, but we literally have 25 weeks to get the kinks out. I mean, get this pit road shit fixed and hopefully get this car figured out and dialed in, because
you got to remember, it's still RCR. They're still like 4-star compared to Hendrick Gibbs 5-star.
Yeah, but they're also bought from Walmart and everything. Everybody gets the same stuff.
The shoes that run out, the louvers.
Yeah.
Well, guys, appreciate y'all for checking in round number 5 of Phoenix. This is round 5, including the clash. That's gonna screw me up, so we're gonna have to count that as like an asterisk after this week.
Yeah.
You on board with that?
Yeah.
So yeah, next week we'll go on normal. I don't know if any of you watch Supercross, but they had round 2 postponed, and every week after that was round 3, 4, and then they went to round 2 and after round 7. So that's the kind of scheduling we've been on. We're gonna fix that next week. Thank you all for tuning in for Phoenix. Hoping for some good things out of Atlanta. Maybe LaJoy can get that first win since Chase isn't there to block him. But
Yeah.
thanks for tuning in, y'all. Take it easy and stay rowdy. Peace out.